All right, so I'm going to talk some immigration politics real quick. Hi, it's Mac Tarstar of Magnetic Service, and yes, I am and forever and always am in love with humanity. It means we love everybody. We don't necessarily like everybody. That's just how it goes. So real quick, because this is obviously a hot button topic. I have in my previous platform talked about how I think the immigration in my own way is totally jacked. That's because to legally immigrate, it is a bunch of buffoonery. It's ridiculous. It's a super long process. It takes a lot of knowledge. I mean, to actually immigrate, you have to know more about the law than the average American does about, like, our country to take the citizenship test. I have not taken it myself. I've said before, maybe I should try to take it to see where I would land. I think most people should. If you want to speak on these things, you should probably take the citizenship test to see how you fare. Because there's a good chance that a lot of people that comment on this stuff, God bless them, would actually fail the citizenship test themselves. Now, you do a little bit of studying and you'd probably be fine on it. That's how I just assume without knowing at all. But this is why I don't fully agree with the left or the right about any of it. Because for one, I don't think it should just be, if you go to Canada, you try to immigrate to Canada illegally. Well, that's illegal. You can't just go to Canada. You can't just go to Mexico. Maybe you can. Maybe it's harder to get back once you do. You jump the other way. But it's just, it's still against the law versus how it's been here where it's against the law, but they also, you can seek asylum and all that. It just doesn't fly, which is why it's silly when politicians in Canada, like Trudeau or whatnot, want to, harp on America for their immigration policies. If you have a DUI, you can't even go to Canada. So, let alone if you're like, a drug or sex trafficker, things like that. So, which they've allowed here openly for a long time in the States. So it's ridiculous. At the same time, my beliefs on it are pretty simple. I feel like they're pretty reasonable, which is ease the citizenship process, make it easier to legally immigrate so you can come here with your papers as your documented self, get a job, pay taxes, which we all hate to pay, and that should be overhauled. That's a whole nother story. Okay, give us like a flat tax so we're not just paying tax on top of tax on top of tax on top of tax, because that's ridiculous. But ease the citizenship process, make it easier for people to come over, legally immigrate, get a job, and just have some conditions where it's like, yeah, if I'm sorry, but if if you have like some certain kinds of charges, you can't come here. Just that's my hair. That's the deal. I can't get it. Anyways. And certain, just like Canada, if you have a DUI, you can't go there. Things like that. It doesn't have to be that extreme. It doesn't have to be as extreme as Canada. But, something reasonable. And then, so people would have to provide proper documentation. And then as a business, if you're knowingly hiring illegals, that's a big issue. And you get shut down, you get fined appropriately and all that. A lot of times you can't even question the documentation, blah, blah, blah. So you just make it so it's like, yeah, if you want to come here legally, it's not a million year process. It can happen. And then you're paying taxes. And then nobody's hiring illegals. Nobody's paying under the table and exploiting these workers. And everyone can have a fair shake. I don't really see what's so hard about that, except for bureaucracy just is ridiculous. But overall, it's just like ease the citizenship so people can come over here, but they're documented. We're all just on it's a ridiculous world we live in anymore. But just that simple. And that's my immigration policy. So you just do the right little things, and it's not just a ridiculous hassle to even try, and you're held up for years. You can get your citizenship, come over, pay your taxes. If you're a business owner exploiting people, the kibosh comes down on that. If you've come over illegally and you're involved in some nasty shit, then honestly, you can just go into a work camp and you can just work and also just pay. I'm sorry to say it, yeah, then you can stay here and then you got to work your ass off and give back. And that give back doesn't just go to the private prison systems. That will, one way or another, go back to the people. That's my view. Mag out.